So the reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular, right? The reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular. Yes, sir. First thing is very less coding you are going to see in Python. Simple and easy syntaxes. Multi-programming features, right? Multi-programming features, hybrid features. Interactive mode. We can easily interact with Python statement by statement. Wide varieties of applications development. Wide varieties of applications, many built-in libraries. It's a general purpose, any kind of applications. It's not specific to a particular environment, right? Fine. So I'll be entering into the basics, Python basics, right? Yes. I'm sorry. Python software foundation, right? Python software foundation. Python software foundation, right? PSF. PSF, right? It is a non-profit organization. First, before I today, I'll be discussing Python software foundation, Python versions, Python installation, Python execution modes, right? Python versions, Python software foundation, Python installation, Python execution modes, right? PSF, you need to know something about PSF, right? Python software foundation is a non-profit organization. It is a non-profit organization devoted towards Python community. It's a non-profit organization, right? Devoted towards Python community, right? Yes. PSF is a non-profit organization, right? Devoted towards Python community, right? Yes. It was launched in the year 2001, right? It was launched in the year 2001. In the year 2001, right? Yes. Almost like 20 years ago, it was launched. PSF, Python Software Foundation, right? And the main objective of this Python Software Foundation, PSF, to foster the development of Python from version to version, right? Yes. In the year 2004, right? Yes. PSF, Python Software Foundation, received in the year 2004. PSF received Computer World Horizon Award. What is that? Computer World Horizon Award. The president, right? The president. Who is the president for this? Guru Van. The personality who developed Python. The president is none other than the personality who developed Python or who introduced Python, right? Is the same personality. He is the president for this Python Software Foundation. Guido van Rossum. Guido van Rossum. He is the personality who introduced Python and is the president for Guido. What is that? Python. Headquarters. Where are the headquarters located, right? Delaware, USA. Official website, right? Official website. What is the official website of Python? Official website, right? www.python.org. Python.org. This is the official website of Python from where we can download Python and see the documentation for each and every Python release, right? What are the things, what are the new features, what are the things that got deprecated, the things that are removed, right? Everything you can see within this python.org. You can download Python versions of, that is version to version. Previously, what were the versions? Now, what is the current version which is going on? Python versions, right? Before I go with the installation, right? Python versions. Python 1.x version. Python 1.x version released in the year 1990. Python 2.x version. Python 2.x means 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, right? Okay. Next, Python 3.x version. Python 1.x 1990, 2.x 2000, 3.x 2008, right? Yes. Okay, 1990. The version that we are using currently is 3 version, right? 3 version is the version that we are using currently. Latest version of Python. Latest version of Python, right? Yes. The version which we are going on is 3 version, right? Latest version of Python. Latest version of Python is Python 3.10. Python 3.10 is the latest version, right? Stable version of Python. Stable versions of Python. Stable version. Python 3.7. Python 3.7 is the stable version, right? Stable, previous stable version. Previous stable version. Stable version means, okay. Stable version means mostly used version. What is it? Mostly used version. Stable version of Python 3.7, mostly used version, right? Yes. Previous stable version. Python 2.7 is mostly used. 2.7 version. Okay. So these are the versions, right? The version that we are going to install is 3.10. That is 3 version, right? Python installation, right? Python installation. Okay, the Python installation. So before I install Python, right, first let me uninstall it and show you from the scratch. So go to the settings, apps, Python 3.10, right? Uninstall Python 3.10, uninstall, you can say, right? Yes.
How to uninstall from Mac machine? Is there any way?
So normal software installation and normal software, or how you are going to perform in the Mac OS, same process, right? So here I'm just uninstalling. So Python provides different softwares for different environments. It provides different softwares for different environments. For Windows, it provides separate software. For Linux, for Mac OS, right? But again in Windows, whether your Windows is a 32-bit or 64-bit, accordingly we are supposed to download that, right? If your Windows is a 32-bit Windows, we are supposed to download 32-bit Python software. If your Windows is a 64-bit, you are supposed to download 64-bit Python software. So how will you check whether your Windows is a 32-bit or 64-bit means, right? Go to this desktop, right? Desktop. Yes. Right click your PC or computer, right? Say properties. Check, right click. What it is saying, right? Right click on your PC or my computer, say properties, system type, what it is saying, 64-bit operating system. 64-bit operating system. It is 32-bit if it is showing there, right? You can go with 32-bit Python software. If it is 64-bit, go with 64-bit Python software. So just I'm closing here. Now just open Google, right? What is the official website of Python? Python.org, right? Python.org. This is the official website of Python, from where we can download Python, right? Yes. This Python PSF, just now I was talking about PSF, right? PSF community, right? Yes. Python Software Foundation, right? Okay. Go to downloads. Now go to downloads, all releases. You can say all releases, right? Yes. Python, all releases. Just scroll down. It will say active Python releases. Not that, but it's going for looking for a specific release, right? Looking for a specific release. Looking for a specific release. So you can see the all the Python versions from the last 20 years, right? Just observe, like 3.10.5. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, keep scrolling. Now select the version you want to install, right? Select the version you want to install. 3.10.5, right? 3.10. When it was released, June 6, 2022, just 1 week ago. 1 week ago, it was released, right? 3.10.5. 3.10.5 released on June 6, 2020. Just click it. Now, 3.10.5, you can just scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, right? You can see files here. You can see the files, right? Everyone, you are able to see the files. So if you're doing parallel, you can do the installation parallel along with me, right? Yes. Files. Yes, Python 32-bit and 64-bit. So if your Windows is a 64, I need to select this 64-bit Windows installer. You can see for Mac OS, for Linux, for Windows, it is going to provide different softwares, right? Yes. In the case of Linux, no need of any installation of Python, right? By default, Python comes as an inbuilt within this Linux OS, right? Okay. And so just go with this 64-bit, right? Windows installer 64-bit. Just the software size is of just 27 MB of size. It is just of 27 MB of size, right? Yes. 89,300 inbuilt modules Python provides, right, for different environments, right? For data science, big data, for networking, animations, GUI, for different domains, Python is providing models. How many? 89,300 inbuilt modules Python provides for different environments. So here, if you talk like 27 MB of size, 27 MB of size. So your download is completed, download is finished. Just click this download, right? Yes. Your installation is going to start. Click this download, your installation, you will get this window, right? Yes, the first window, what you see. After clicking the downloaded file, you will get this screen. At the bottom, you can see add Python 3.10 to path. Select it. Select this, add Python 3.10 to path. Go for customize installation. Go for customize installation, right? No need to select anything in this. By default, you are going to see the documentation, pip, ideally, and test suite. Pip means the modules which are not available in the Python software, the modules which are not available within this. Within which means within this Python software size is just 27 MB, right? All the 89,300 inbuilt modules you are not going to get along with Python software. Only the commonly used modules you're going to get along with the Python software. The other things, right? Yes. Okay. So the modules which are not available in the Python software, those modules we are going to download and install by using a component called pip. That also you are going to get along with this, right? Python installation, documentation of Python, pip. Ideally integrated development environment. In this nothing to select anything, right? Everything are pre-selected. Say next. Here also nothing to select, but the thing is installation location, right? Where you want to install the Python. So by default, Python getting installed with by default. See users, Dell, app data, local programs, Python 310. So the Python is installed with in C users, Dell, app data, local programs, Python 310. Okay, instead of this very big path, right? Instead of this very big path, tomorrow if you want to locate Python where exactly it is installed, it is too difficult, right? Because into multiple subdirectories it's getting installed. And tomorrow, if you want to install any external module also, you are supposed to provide this entire path of Python. So it is too difficult. So just remove this big path. Just install Python within the C drive. Just remove all this and just try to install Python within this C drive. That's it. See Python 3.10, right? Yes. Just say install. You will get this. See Python 3.10. This is where you are supposed to. I'm installing. Say install. It hardly takes 1 minute to install Python. So installation in process, right? It takes a minute of time. So it's almost done, right? Yes. So once it is successfully installed, let us check whether it is properly installed or not. Python 3.10 is the version that we are using currently. So setup was successful. Just close it. How will you check whether your Python is successfully installed or not? Just type cmd here. Go to the command prompt and type Python here. Just type Python here. Go to this command prompt and just type Python here. Just say enter. It should display the Python version, Python 3.10.5, and this interpreter should be open, right? Yes. Can you see this Python 3.10.5 on June 6, 2022, right? And here, can you see this 3 arrow symbol? Any valid Python statements you can type and you can check, right? In the yesterday session, I was saying interactive mode. Python can easily interact with, the users can easily interact with Python. Right. So here, just I'm asking, what is 3 plus 6? 5 into 8. X has 10, Y has 5. What is that X value? What is Y value? What is X plus 5? Yes. See, X plus Y, X minus Y, X into Y, X by Y. Right. X plus Y, X minus Y, X into Y, and X by Y. X to the power of 2. X to the power of 2 is 10 square, right? In this way, you can interact with Python, right? Python is successfully downloaded and installed, right? Yes. If you want to come out of this, say quit. Okay. If anybody from the Linux background, right? If anybody from Linux back, 1 second. Python installation. Okay. If anybody from the Linux background, if they want already Python will be inbuilt, right? Within this Linux, right? But if you want the latest version of Python to be installed, right? So yes,
Yeah, hello, this is Damodar. I'm
yes,
using a Mac machine. Uh,
yes.
See, I have the older version of Python in my system. I would like to uninstall it and install it. If you have any steps or video, would you please send it across to me?
Yeah, fine. Okay. But Linux, right? But Python, if you want to install Python within the Linux environment, right? So here within this Linux, Python comes as an inbuilt, right? Within this Linux environment, Python will be as inbuilt. So whenever you open any terminal, right, within this Linux, just to say Python. Within the terminal, say Python, right? Yes. Python is going to get open, right? But if you want the latest version of Python to be installed within this Linux environment, but if your Linux is an older version, so older version of Python, you see in that. If you want the latest version of Python to be installed, you can just say a command, right? apt get install, apt get install, right? Yes, Python 3.10 apt get install means if you are supposed to do all the installation from the root, right? So say like sudo apt get install Python 3.10. This command is going to download and install this Python version within the Linux environment. Whatever Linux flavor you are using, Red Hat Linux or CentOS or Ubuntu, right? Whatever it is. So this command is enough, right? For downloading and installing Python, right? Python execution modes. Next, like Python execution modes, right? Yes. Two modes of execution. Two modes of execution, right? Yes. Two modes of execution. Interactive mode. Second is what? Batch mode. Interactive mode and batch mode. Interactive mode means I was just saying that directly we can type the Python statements and interact with Python statement by statement. So this is what interactive mode. Just I said 3 plus 6 it gives response. What is x value? What is y value? What is x plus 5? Means here we are interacting, right? Yes. Here we directly type Python statements on the interpreter. In the case of interactive mode, we directly type Python statements on the interpreter and the user can easily interact. We can easily interact with the user can easily interact with Python statement by statement. What advantage you are going to see with this interactive mode? What advantage means? So here one thing, if you are new, if you are like a beginner as a learner, right? This interactive mode works better. It means it is going to give the response for each and every statement. And if it doesn't know about any particular functionality, you can type within this interactive mode and check right what it is going to perform. To test the functionalities of Python. To test the functionalities of Python, right? To test the functionalities of Python and to learn Python, right? Yes. To test the functionalities of Python and to learn Python, right? Yes. To test the functionalities and to learn Python, right? Yes. But this interactive mode is not preferred for developing applications, right? For developing applications in Python, this interactive mode is never used. Only for to test the functionalities of Python and for learning Python, this interactive mode works. But to develop applications in Python, go for batch mode, right? In batch mode here, we write set of statements within the editors or IDs, within the editors or IDs, right? We write set of statements within the editors or IDs and save it. We write set of statements within the editor and save it by using .py extension and later submit it to Python, right? We write set of statements within the editor's ID, save it by using .py and later submit it to Python, right? We write set of statements within the editors and save it by using .py and later submit it to Python. What are the various editors? IDE means integrated development environment, right? In real time, we use IDs. So what are the various editors where we are going to write the Python code? Notepad. Within the Notepad, we can create a Python file. Notepad edit plus within this Windows environment, but within the Linux environment, we have got VI, we got Nano. Okay, these two are Windows environment, these two are for Linux environment, right? We can write set of Python statements within this Notepad and save it as .py extension and later we submit to Python. And what are the various IDs? Various IDs, right? Integrated development environment, various IDs like various IDs like PyCharm, PyDev, Komodo, Spider, Eclipse, NetBeans, Anaconda distribution using this Jupyter notebook, right? Jupyter notebook. Atom, VS Code, right? VS Code. So these are the two. MyCharm is the mostly used IDE. PyCharm is the mostly used IDE, right? Yes. For Python environment, right? You may ask, right, why this many IDs for Python? Why not one or two IDs? Means Python is used for different environments, right? Python is used for different environments for data science, big data, networking, animations. For data science, right? Jupyter Notebook is mostly preferred. Spider is preferred. Even for big data, also Spider and Jupyter Notebook are mostly preferred. Yes. And for typical web applications, right? Typical web applications creations, PyCharm, right? PyCharm, Atom, VS Code. These are mostly preferred. So next is like Python.
But
Developing the first type. Yes.
what is the difference between a ID and editor?
See, editor is not a Mac Python related. Notepad, you will see, you won't see any Python related functionalities within this editor. Just Notepad means you can create any file, .txt file, .py file, any file format. But IDE means it's a Python. It's only like Python.py files you can create. It's related. It's a Python IDEs where Python related things like PyCharm, like Eclipse, or if you talk like Spider, right? If you want to develop a Python project, we go for IDEs where to keep .py files, where to keep image files, where to keep .html files. So totally the structure will be given within these IDs. So here Notepad, Edit Plus, this VI Nano or this editors, they are not Python related. They are normal editors where we write any file. We can create any file, not only py.txt, but this supports only .py files, Python files only, Python editors. For executing this Python code, for writing the Python statements, executing everything happens at the same place. ID is, in the case of editors, writing the code at one place and executing at other place. But here in IDs, we'll be writing and executing, everything happens at the same place. In the case of editors, we just only write the dot, we will create a .py files, but we cannot execute that within the editors. Within the editors, execution cannot happen. Again, we are supposed to go to the command prompt, submitting those things and execute. So I'll just give you some examples, right, on editors and IDs. Developing the first Python application. Application within editor, right? Within a editor. Developing the first Python application within a editor. Example like Notepad. Okay. Open Notepad and type the following Python statements. Yes, open Notepad. Open Notepad and type the following Python statements. So as of now, I didn't discuss anything related to Python. So just here I'll take two values, x as 10, y as 20. And I want to perform some kind of automatic operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, right? Yes, print x plus y, print x minus y. X plus y, x minus y, x into y, and x by y. Yes, I'll copy this to a separate notepad file. Yes, I'm creating a separate notepad file. File, save, right? Yes. So in Python 7:30 AM, I created a separate folder, right? Sample1.py. I'm saving it as sample1.py. Save as sample1.py, and now submit this file to Python. And now okay. Save as sample1. And now submit this file to Python as, right? How we can submit this file sample1.py means? Yes, just go to this command prompt, type cmd, right, within the search panel at the bottom. Cmd, go to the command prompt, right? Type Python, don't say enter. Python, and give the path of the file, right? Within the C drive, right? Yes. You have created a .py file within this notepad. Right now, I am submitting this notepad file to Python, right? Open command prompt, type Python, and just give the path where the file is available, where the file is within the C drive, right? Within the C drive, right? Python 7:30 AM, right? Python 7:30 AM, right? Within the Python 7:30 AM, sample1.py, sample1.py, right? Yes. Enter. 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, 10 by 20. So you got that addition, 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, 10 by 20, right? Yes. Submitting this file Python to, like, see, Python 7:30 AM. Yes, right. Okay, fine. So, but here, what is your observation? Okay, here how I'm submitting this, what how I'm submitting, right? Yes, Control C. But here, what is your observation? But here, we are writing the code at one place. We are writing the code at one place. We are writing the code at one place within the notepad and executing at the other place, right? And executing at the other place where command prompt, right? Yes. We are writing the code at one place, notepad, and executing at the other place, right? Within the command prompt. But to write and execute at the same place, right? We have IDLE, right? We have IDLE, integrated development environment, right? Which comes along with Python installation, which comes along with the Python installation. We're writing the code at one place, notepad, and executing the other place, right? But to write and execute at the same place, right? Yes. We have IDLE, which comes along with Python installation, using which but to write and execute at the same place, we have IDLE, which comes along with Python installation, using which we can work with both interactive and batch mode, right? Yes. Understood, right? So here, writing at one place, you are writing the code at one place within the notepad and executing at the other place in command prompt. But to write and execute at the same place, we have IDLE, which comes along with Python installation, using which we can work with both interactive and batch mode, right? Yes. So just observe here, right? How to open this IDLE and how to work with interactive and batch mode. Go to the start programs, check where your Python is installed, right? Check within this Python 3.10. What first thing you see within that IDLE, right? Integrated development learning environment, right? Click it. Python shell gets opened. Just observe this. Python shell gets opened, right? So within this Python shell, so this is what the Python shell gets opened, right? Python shell gets opened. Okay, file, new file, new file, right? Yes. Python shell gets open. Here you can work with the interactive mode. 3 plus 5, 4 into 4 into 6, 5 into 7, right? Yes. So in this way. So here, if you want to work with interactive mode, you can work, but I want to work with batch mode, right? Yes. File, new file, you can say. Yes. File, new file, and write your code here. X as 10, Y as 20. Print X plus Y. print x minus y. Print x into y, print x by y, right? Yes. X plus y, x minus y, x into y, and x by y. Okay, I'm writing this code within this, right? And save it. I can write the code here itself. I can execute the code here itself. Save it once, file save. Save it in this Python 7:30 a.m. folder, right? Python 7:30 a.m. right? Yes. Within this Python 7:30 a.m. Save it as sample.py. Yes. Here itself, I have written the code. Here itself, I can execute run a run module, right? Yes. You got the output 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, 10 by 20, right? Yes. Once I can check it, here it's I have written the code run module, right? Yes. It is going to execute, right? 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, 10 by 20. Understood, right? Yes. How to open this IDE elements? Go to this start programs, check where your Python is installed. Python 3.10. What is the first thing we see, right? Ideally, right? Check it. Python shell gets open in this way. If you want to interact here, statement by statement, you can interact. Otherwise, if you want to write batch of statements, file. Yes, here you can write your code and execute your code here itself, right? Yes. Write and execute this code, right? Yes.
Screen is not visible.
Fine. And right. So understood, right? How to write this Python statements and how to later I'll show you once we're done with a little bit of technical part, right? I'll show you like how to run this Python code within the IDEs like the PyCharm IDE. PyCharm, we have got community edition is there, professional edition is there, right? And how to run within this Anaconda distributions using Jupyter Notebook, Spider IDE, Eclipse IDE, right? Yes. Step by step, how to download and how to install them, I'll be showing you, right? Yes. Any query as part of today's topic, right? What we have discussed like the Python. Are you able to hear my voice? Can anyone please confirm?
Yes.
Yeah, fine. So like today we have discussed like Python Software Foundation, right? PSF. It's a community, right? So Python versions, what are the versions, previous versions and latest version? What are the stable versions of Python? Python installation, right? Select that Python version accordingly. If it is in Windows, select it 32 or 64-bit. Python execution modes, interactive mode, step by step, statement by statement. We can communicate with Python. Batch mode means we write batch of statements, save it as .py, right? So in the next tomorrow session, right, just I'll be entering into the basic technical like data types with Python, right? What happens internally? I'm going to show you, right, what happens internally whenever you define some.
Hello. Voice
Any
is not
queries you got? Yes.
like this.
queries you got, right? Yes.
Means I have one query regarding the course. Means like this, this will take complete 75 days, or we can complete it earlier also. Means like that.
So
Same
yeah,
query I have.
but what is, pardon, once again, can you repeat the query?
Means the total duration is like 75 days for this course. So means it will take total 75 days, or can we finish it earlier? Means before 75 days, like that.
Yeah, fine. So like some sessions on this Saturdays, right? Some bigger sessions on Saturdays I can complete earlier. So I'll be discussing that with you on Fridays, right? If I'm getting some bigger sessions like 2-hour sessions, right? I can complete it.
Okay. Okay.
Hey,
I'll
one
be
question
asking
I
you,
have.
right? Yes.
From tomorrow onwards, from where I can get the link means? Is the meeting link is same or it's gonna change?
So tomorrow also you can attend, tomorrow and day after tomorrow also you can attend the session with the same link only. So 2 more sessions you'll be getting, right? So before the link is changed.
Okay, thank you.
Tomorrow, every tomorrow also you can attend the session to see more of this Python, right? Yes. Tomorrow and the next 2 sessions you'll be can attend the sessions. Later the link is going to get changed, right? Right. So not a worry. So still, if anybody wants to complete this Python within 1.5 months like that, so you can attend. So it's still, if you want to, there is any urgency in completing the course, right? Just you can go like in 2 batches. You can attend the sessions. But he takes 2 to 2.5 months. I'm saying, right? 2 to 2.5 months. But if I get some sessions on Saturday, some bigger sessions, I can complete it early, right? So where, because we'll be discussing many working examples, and I also said I'll be discussing, if you see the course content, right, to many much, I'm going to discuss many modules, advanced modules related to different domains, right? Fine. Some specific models like some data science related, some big data related, some databases related, graphics related, operating system related, right? How to create our own modules. Right. So nearly 30 topics I am going to cover, right?
And this daily time means can we take to the means 1.5 hour means instead of 1 hour? So can we do that means?
Yeah, first, okay, for the first 1 week or 10 days, it will be going with 1 hour. Later, I'll just have a word with the students. If everyone are fine, later, fine. If all the students are okay with that, then I can, but it's not a force.
Okay.
Fine. Yeah, any other query, right? Yes.
So Vijay, is there any like the big data batch which are going to be start on the weekend,
Mhm.
Saturday or Sunday?
Big data like Spark with Python, PySpark, Spark. With
Yeah, so I will
PySpark.
like I'm trying to like continue with these classes as well, like the big data Hadoop and all.
Yeah, yeah. Meanwhile, when you are continuing that in the coming shares, like 1 week, next 10 days, like one batch is going to start. PySpark batch is going to start within 10 days of time. Okay. You
So
will
that
let
will
me
be
know,
like
right?
total covering the big data, like considering Hadoop, Spark, and all the things.
So just at evening 4 o'clock, there is a batch started. Currently, there is a batch started recently 1 day ago. Data and Spark, both Hadoop and Spark combined, right?
Okay. Is there any other like evening batch like after 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, 7 p.m.?
Yeah. New batch might be starting in a week time at 6 o'clock, 6 to 7.
6 to 7. Okay.
Fine. So like, okay, as a fresher, right? Python course, Python is enough, right? As a fresher, I'm talking. Django means tomorrow if you go, if you want to develop application using Python, right? Django is required. At that time, again, after getting job, okay, as a fresher, I'm talking, right? If freshers, Python is enough. But still, if you are updating with Django, it will add some weightage to your resume. Means tomorrow, after getting job in Python, right? Tomorrow, if you want to develop an application in Python, Django required, right? Fine. Okay. So if I'm done with your queries, if there are no other queries, just I'll sign off for today. Meet you tomorrow, same time, same link to see more on this Python, right? Yes. Thank you all for your time. Thank you.
Yo, bye.